Hey everybody, welcome to your Unpaid Therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of your Unpaid Therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it. I'm Valery Milagros Ortiz. I don't know. I am your host, Alikona. She's away. Brad Ford.
This is your Unpaid Therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha.
I feel like that's my cue. I want to
Talk like your man.
I want to start this sexy. You're watching the Unpaid Therapist.
I hope you're watching, because if you're only listening, I'm sorry.
Hi guys! I just realized the other two episodes I didn't even see. I assume you guys know my name, but whatever. Hi, I'm Alikona. We have fabulous Teresa Espinosa joining us today. She's manifestation, energy coach. She's a very successful dancer, choreographer, and an amazing friend. And there's this other girl. She's okay.
I'm right. What up, y'all? It's Valery. Y'all know me.
V to the O.
V to the M-O. Hello. Reference J-Lo. You know, all you J-Lo fans would know that. What are we doing today?
I mean, okay, so I want to talk about like multiple things. We'll do our never have I ever.
Okay.
Take two. We're going to do our never have I ever, but we want to talk about energy, getting stuck and unstuck, especially creatively. And somewhere I want to work some money manifestation in there, because I know you love that shit. I feel like who doesn't love money? And making it.
Yes.
With less effort. Okay. Anyways, but let's get into our never have I evers.
All you, boo.
Me? Oh, is it my turn to start? Okay.
Oh, why not?
Boo, boo, boo,
No rules.
boo. I mean, blue or blue? Jeez. Okay, let this be a good one. Never have I ever been insulted by a little kid. But I've had a 2x4 thrown at me by a little kid.
Ooh.
Yes.
Kind of insulting.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, and I said nothing. I was in.
Okay, how old are you and how old was the little kid?
I was probably 25-ish, and the child was, I don't know, I'm not good at this, like 8. But it was, where was I? Not in Sicily, but somewhere down south. Napoli. I was in Naples. And, you know, they roll deep in some mafia the further south you go. And I was like, and there's some old looking like dudes outside. And I thought, I want to go tell this kid off, but I don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be like, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, he straight up like threw a little 2x4 at me.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it didn't hit me. It was far. His good thing he didn't have.
But just because,
good...
American type.
Heck if I know. I just know that I was,
was
like,
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's the closest
Crazy.
thing I've gotten to it.
Yeah.
So, you?
Camera. No, nothing's coming up for me.
Yes.
Oh.
And yes. And it like core memory trauma building.
Okay.
Like, this was so bad. So, and I think I can't say a lot of people know this story, but I've been open about growing up with a unibrow and how like traumatizing that was for me, and got made fun of in school. And this particular situation, it was my birthday, and we would have like pool parties at the it actually wasn't even my parents' neighborhood. It was like my aunt's neighborhood, like a few streets away. And so it was just normal old pool party with all the fam. And then I've actually told this, she's like a cousin, this story. Corales was like, I want to say like 4 or something. She was a kid, like little. I don't know, maybe I was turning like 12 or something. But Corales was like, why do your eyebrows connect? And I remember, because I was already super self-conscious about it and like felt like shit. My parents didn't want me to like pluck my eyebrows. Yes, I must have been 12, because I think it was like, you have to be a teenager or something, whatever. Excuse me. I like cried. Like, this little baby like said this to me, and I straight up cried, and I told my mom like, Corali said I had a unibrow, and like it was like, and they didn't get it. My parents didn't get it, and it was still like such a thing of like, oh, it's fine, you're so beautiful, blah blah blah. I was just like, y'all don't fucking get it, and that like You know what's funny, and I think I've had conversations with my boyfriend about this, and just like my girlfriends in general, and people being like, you don't see what other people see when they look at you, and I don't. I'm still that girl in the pool with the unibrow. Like I don't know how else to tell people that, and like nobody will really understand. But that is who I feel.
Yeah.
Or like in middle school, and people, not being allowed to shave, and other people poking fun of my eyebrow. That girl hasn't really.
So how old were you when you were like, okay, I can handle it now? Like
handle it. Handle what?
Just like handle it.
Oh, when I was allowed to.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I was in middle school, so.
And did it make a difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made a difference, and then there's and then I just like my eyebrows were shit then, because then I like went too far.
Yeah.
So then I had this like little itty bitty nub. But I mean, at the point at that, I didn't care. Now looking back, it's like I wish my mom would have taken me to a professional. Yeah. And then because I had like cute thick eyebrows. Now I'm like microblading and shit, like trying to like pencil them in. I'm like, how do you go from like to like life? But once I was allowed, obviously, I felt like
you went walking through those halls like mean girls, like you had the transformation.
Y'all don't even know, like the photos. One of my best friends, Scotty, she has the best in picture blackmail photos, because it got to the point, and she like you, like, and obviously you were mentioning like your bleaching and all this stuff with your hair. She was always doing stuff with her hair and stuff. And we cut myself bangs, but like we didn't cut like a beautiful full bang like yours, like just like enough to try to cover the unibrow here.
Like a little strip of
my god! And it was like not even thick. And then she put peroxide in my hair, because back in the day when you could do the little two curls right here, and that was like cute. Yeah, so it was almost like you made a bad situation just worse.
Yeah.
I have photos. I'll post them.
Please do.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm gonna pass this on to you and let you take care of whoever.
I just realized I didn't bring my cup, so y'all will see me and my big
Yes,
watching.
That's
my
awesome.
big hole.
Okay, that doesn't want to come.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Who wants to read this for me?
Okay, let's see. Never have I ever. Oh wait, this is the same one. Been insulted by a little kid.
Oops,
Okay.
my bad.
That's okay. I wanted to show up again.
Yes, it did. Never have I ever. No, that's sorry, y'all. One more time. Third time's a charm.
That one.
Never have I ever sucked my thumb.
Maybe.
I did.
You did?
Oh yeah. That's how I got buck teeth.
Okay. I had a blankie.
Okay.
It was a nightgown, actually. It was a nightgown. It was really soft. That's why I like this pillow.
So your nightgown was like your blanket?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I have a blankie now too.
Yeah.
At like in my 40s.
That's
I love
okay.
it. Yeah, I definitely was a thumb sucker.
Yeah, you were a thumb sucker. What?
Thumb sucker?
Thumb sucker.
I was a thumb sucker.
Wow.
I like that better.
Yeah, me too.
That's so funny. I don't even have my Invisalign on, so I can't even blame my Invisalign. That was, for too long.
Yeah.
What helped you stop?
Well, then I started sucking on a blanket. Then I got in trouble for that. But okay, so here's the deal, guys. We used to suck on the corner of this blanket, and like this saliva that stayed within the blanket for some reason got real sweet.
Stop.
So later on, I go back and suck it again. And be like,
Yeah.
Mind you, I was little, you guys. My mom she'd be like, don't do that. I'm like, okay. And then she'd turn off the lights in the bedroom, and I'd be like,
That is hilarious.
Crazy.
So it went from the thumb to the blanket.
yes.
And then how long did that last?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't obviously adult or teenager or anything like doing that, but yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I know. I was. Mine took. This is so dumb. Putting Band-Aids. Right, because of that. Like, right, who wants to suck on a Band-Aid? And obviously, you could, right, it's like, you can take it off, but at that point, I wanted to stop. It's like, you're too old. So I did. But yeah, they tried the hot sauce and stuff, and I was like, here you go. I loved it. I'm like, pique.
Yeah.
Our family called it pique, but yeah. I think I was too old sucking my thumb. I know that for damn sure. Not a teenager, but still too dang old.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was such,
I wonder
so
what that's
comforting.
about, though. The sucking
know.
thumb thing.
I know,
has to
because
do
people
something.
like oral fixation
Yeah,
or like
okay.
comfort.
Mhm.
But I mean, also to babies and like that's how you eat.
Dude, did you guys know? Fun fact. Okay, so I took a human sexual behavior class in college. I just needed an upper division credit. Okay. And I learned that you start formulating certain things. Obviously, like once you pop out, the brain is already making connections. And so if you're a mom who has your baby on a feeding schedule and it's like very strict, like only every 2 hours, it forms some sort of like distrust as a baby between you and your mother, because mommy is supposed to nurture you, and the
Yeah.
person that's supposed to nurture you is like holding off and making you wait. And it goes all the way into your adulthood and affects like your sexual relationships. So it's like mommy issues can stem from that, distrust can stem from that. It's
Wait a minute,
so
okay.
bizarre.
Like once you're already when you're out in the
Breastfeeding.
world,
Yeah.
Oh, and you're breastfeeding. Oh, so if
And-
mom is like only every 2 hours.
Yeah,
gotcha.
like your feeding schedule is at 9 o'clock and at 4 o'clock and at 7 o'clock, and if you're crying, I'm
Why
gonna
would that
make you.
affect your sexual? Thing?
All these things do. I don't know. I just
So
know that like
crazy.
it starts from very young. The seeds start planting, and it's I don't know, something that has to do with just the
I've
trust.
heard about like when babies cry and there's the parent. I don't have kids, so I have no idea. But just that if you let them cry, it actually is not good for them as adults.
Right? Like people are always like, oh, self-soothe. They need to
Yeah.
self-soothe.
Yeah, no,
But then
that's not good.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like that's so. I mean, when I don't know. I think I do. There's something about them being able to self-soothe that I feel like is important, but I could
Right.
also see how that could be traumatic. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm- more research.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Your turn.
I-
have you never?
Me? Have
Yeah,
I?
I don't
Oh.
think you did.
It's like we get into it and then I
Yeah.
like totally forget. Let me do this pink one. Never have I ever learned how to play an instrument.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I
You
haven't. No.
Nothing?
Nothing. So usually on my wall I have a guitar, and it's such a great conversation piece because everybody's like, "Oh, do you play?" I'm like, "No, I don't." But my brother got it for me because it's on my bucket list. So keep me accountable.
Okay. Yeah.
Before I die, I would love to play an instrument, but the guitar, my grandma wanted me to learn, and my brother got me this thing. It's called like paputar, and essentially it's like a real guitar, but like you can attach it to an app. There's an app for everything.
Yeah.
And it'll help you learn. So I haven't learned anything. I've learned how to tune it on the app and just a couple little things. I know, exactly.
I learned how to tune it.
But it's it's like a game. Like you
Yeah.
get points. So before I die, something. I
I
need to
saw
play
this
something.
guy. If you do the right chord up here and
Up here, like
like
in the air.
like on the I don't know
Okay,
on the
what-
stem.
on the
Okay,
stem.
okay,
See, I don't
Musicians
even-
are cussing at us right now.
I know.
Stem? How
Yeah,
dare you?
I'm sorry, I don't think it's right. But on the stem, if you play the chords up here on the stem, and you get a coffee cup and you use the coffee cup to strum, it'll work.
What
Like
word?
you'll
You'll learn better.
well know that
It'll.
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know.
Now I
I've
have to
seen
try
a
it.
video.
Okay,
You can it's like a hack, like a
Oh.
guitar hack.
I'm gonna try it.
Oh my God! Please
What do you play?
forgive me.
Oh, that's okay. What do you play?
I grew up. I played the piano. My
Yes.
next door neighbor was my piano teacher, and then I stopped. And then I like to learn off of YouTube,
Yeah.
and I just mess around. We used to have a keyboard. I don't have one now, but I like to mess around and learn different things. But,
Is somebody else in your family like musically talented or?
no, my parents they're artists. My mom did ceramics. My dad was a painter. They met in art school.
That's so
yeah,
cute.
so the dancing thing, they were like, yes, go do that. Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
I told my dad I was dancing when we were at the grocery store, like I was going to move to LA to go dancing, and he was like, "Can you pass me that tomato over there?"
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like that was the conversation, and that's it. Like completely ignored.
And never talked about it
Nope.
again?
Nope.
Oh.
And then I moved. Like
Yeah.
months later. Anyway, I want you guys to guess. If I played an instrument, what would you peg me as? What player?
If you played an instrument, I would want you to play
Just looking at me. What do I look like?
I would say a drummer.
Yeah,
Like you
something
banged the
loud.
shit out of
I totally did. I
Yes.
totally did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, the thing with, I went to a school that didn't have a lot of drum sets, so they really focused on the xylophone because that's part of percussion. And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then I got my little drum pad at home. I was constantly,
That's
my mom was
funny.
so annoyed with me. Yeah, and then that was that.
Fun.
And eventually I just quit band because I didn't like my teacher and
Yeah, that happens.
lost it. But I did have an audition. Sheila, so Val and I have the same manager, and I don't know what she was thinking, but she submitted me for a role to be a drummer, and I had to play for the audition. So her husband, who's an actual professional, legit drummer, tutored me for a week, and then we did the audition. I'm over here but we cheated, okay, guys? So Les was on the side on his drum set, and I was in the front of the camera with my drum set, and he was like, yeah, I'll play with you to kind of keep you on beat. But really, I was kind of banging around, and the cool sounds were coming from his off camera. But I'm like,
But you know how to play the drums.
I did at one point.
Yeah.
I'm not as good anymore, but yeah.
Yeah.
How
It's
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Harder than it looks.
Yeah. Well, yes, because it's the rhythms on the different.
Well, you got
body
feet
parts.
going to two different
Yeah.
things at two different times. That's the hard part, not the arms. It's the feet.
My guy's a drummer, so I get to like mess around, and he'll try to get me to do one rhythm on this hand and the other. I was like, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm glad we're talking about all this creative stuff because that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, and I love smooth transitions. Yeah, and so this was all born for, well, I don't know when this is going to air, but there's an actor strike, there's a writer strike, there's all the strikes, there's, creatively, at least for us, there's just been a standstill. And obviously during the pandemic, that was, a big one when it came to what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Which is so beautiful that's kind of what like pivoted your career from the creative into where you are now. So yeah, let's dive into that.
So the writer's strike, what are they striking?
Multiple things. So they're striking because they want to get paid more. And I know from the outside, if you're not in the entertainment industry, it's like, well, you guys get paid a lot of money. It's like, well, no, but they don't necessarily get residuals. Let me tell, I mean, I'm not in the union, but I've written movies that were on television, and my paychecks, they were not as great as one would think. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, dang. You know, like,
Wait. I gotta say that she wrote 3 movies and then got them made. Like, there's 3 movies she wrote and they're on
TV.
film. Yes.
Yeah, with help, though. With help, I will say. I had a partner.
You still did it.
Going. But yeah.
Let's celebrate you.
That's right. It's true.
But all that to say, it can air on television a bajillion times. I'm not getting paid, and so the strike is a little bit about like residuals. It's about AI because that's stepping into the thing, and it's going to replace. Yeah, but it's going to like replace some people, so people are scared. And I will say also too, as an actor, when I had done my little episode on Hit the Floor, and again, it wasn't a big role, but I still get my residual.
Hold on. I didn't know you were on Hit the Floor.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I found out you're on Hit the Floor. Like you were a recurring.
Yeah.
Okay. She don't tell me shit. You don't tell me anything. You're like oh gosh. Okay, keep going.
Sorry.
She just downplayed. You just downplayed.
I know. Teresa and I had this conversation over dinner because some of these things are not like the big thing I want. So I'm just like, yeah, I did this thing, whatever. But this is what I want, guys. Like, not there yet. That's where I'm focused.
I'm trying to help her see all the milestones and the markers that she has done. Because that is a big deal. She's living somebody else's dream. She doesn't even know it.
Right. And that, baby Alikona would be like,
that's right.
We did it. Yeah. I had a conversation with our mutual friend Keston. He was he's been on our show. Yeah. And he was gonna go to he was invited to like a celebration of Avatar and like whatever.
He was in it.
Yes, he was in it. And from plenty of his own reasons, he was just like not really feeling like going. And he sends me a voice text and he's like, what do you think I should do? Like, should I go or whatever? And I remember I was like at the gym and I was like, and I was about to start a class. I like leave the studio, and I was like, yes, you got to go. I was like, baby Kesson would be so disappointed if you didn't go celebrate this fucking dope ass fucking shit you did. Like, if, like, please think about him. Like, I don't care about, like, what you're feeling right now and how blah, 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 blah. Cool. But also...
Okay, can I point out? So this is somebody that you know, right?
Yes.
I don't know this person.
Yes.
But I will say, they did probably one of the biggest films of like the recent few years, and he's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the marker is like, oh, like this.
And that's so common in our industry, and maybe
Yeah.
a lot of different ones, but I wrote like a poem about this. Because it's really frustrating, and you know, because you're in, you were in the same industry, and it's like when you're finishing a job, and people are like, "Oh, so what do you got coming up next?" And I'm like, "Can I just celebrate this?
Yeah.
Because this
Exactly.
this is what I've been like wanting to do for a really long time, and we're not done yet. So
Yeah.
like, this is what I'm celebrating." I don't know yet what's coming up next. Maybe a lot thing, but
Yeah.
it's just so frustrating, and that happens all the time.
All the time.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. We're just, it's not enough. It's never enough.
Jinx, yeah, it's true.
But mind you, your friend worked with James Cameron. Like,
Right?
I
like-
and he's in 2, 3, and 4.
okay. And he's like not happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the way. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be happy now. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes so deep, like
It
that,
does.
because it's like, it's almost, and actually, he's religious, and I always say, I was like, if I were God, and if I was super religious, I consider myself more spiritual, I'd be insulted, because I'm sorry, like, you prayed for this, and this, and this, and like, oh, you're welcome. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's just like, I'm like, you prayed for this and you got it, and now you're like, I don't know if this, I wasn't X, Y, or Z. I was like, that's rude. Like, but like legit, like if you're
Yeah.
going to be super religious and pray and God this and God that, and it's like, okay, cool, then fucking celebrate your blessings. Like, I'm going to need you to be a little bit more grateful and like show him
Yeah.
all the things that you talk about, and that all the things you preach. It's just like, well, thank him. Like, show a little bit of gratitude.
You know what it is, though? I think it's because people have this certain vision of how they think it should be, and when
Oh,
it comes
absolutely.
differently,
We all
then
do
we
it.
get disappointed. You
We
know,
all do it.
like, okay, cool story is, I used to go to the park all the time, like Balboa, and I would lay in the grass, and again, this is
Stalkers are all like,
right. this is before The Secret and all these other things came up. Like, we didn't have that knowledge, but I loved imagination. It was always my escape, even as a child. And so I'd be laying in the grass, and I'm like, I'm going on tour with Janet Jackson. Bitch. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But that's like, she was one of my goalposts. I don't know. Yeah. And I just kept saying, like, I just want to go on tour. Like, I just want to go on tour, like, with her or Brittany. So crazy. Her, Brittany, or Justin, da-da-da. And it never happened. But when I did finally go on, so I did get to go on a tour, not the person that I wanted to, but I went on 3 tours as a host. But that's okay, because I thought, it's cool. Like, I really wanted, so I suffocated the hell out of my dancing dream. That's what I think happened. But I ended up, instead of being behind somebody, I was given the mic myself, and I got to talk for 2 hours, and everyone had to listen to me. They had no choice. They had to listen to me. And I was like, okay, cool. I did get my, not how I expected.
Is that the,
thank you.
The car thing? The
Monster trucks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember a little bit right before you got that, we were on a hike, and you were talking about wanting to get paid to travel.
Yes.
And that also coincided with that same manifestation, if you will. And we did acknowledge that. You did acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And again, and I'm not, listen, we all do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially with this career. Yeah. So I'm preaching to myself too.
Yeah.
Just making sure that's clear. But but I think because of my awareness of it, and with anybody, like as once we're aware of, you know, these habits of ours, it's just so much more when you see it in others. It's such so much more like, oh, okay, like I've seen that in myself. Seeing it in you makes it even like louder of like, okay, like, yeah, we need to be here now and practice the gratitude and remember all the little things that got us here. And I mean, there's memes about it. Like, I've seen it on Instagram of just like, you right now you're living all the things you prayed for or blah, 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 or whatever. And it's like, yeah.
So then let me ask you guys this, and I'll go into, because Teresa, you like specialize in dream manifestation.
I
So,
love it.
and let's get into that, right? But like specificity is important. But how do you like, again, what's the balance between specificity and then just being okay with like noticing the thing?
So, for example, and I know you've heard the story like 1,000 times, but when I manifested Dancing for Janet, I was at her concert in 1994. I got front and center, literally front and center seat, looking up at the stage, looking at the dancers and Janet, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. Like the thought, that thought literally was so just easy and just kind of, yeah, I could do that. And I'll let it go. And it's the manifesting is having, again, what we talked about earlier is like the North Star. So I had the North Star of, oh, I could dance on stage with her or somebody, right? And then you just let it go and you go do the inspired action. And not like, I didn't hold on to it had to be Janet Jackson. I didn't hold on to it has to be a tour and it has to be, it has to show up a certain way. I just said, oh yeah, I could do that. And then 3 or 4 years later, I'm literally on the same stage with Janet Jackson, with some of the same dancers.
That's so cool.
And my family's in the audience. I had 40 people. It was in Dallas, Texas. 40 of my family and friends came to celebrate. And I couldn't have planned that. Like you can't plan those things. So manifesting is the one thing. And I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, Jenny. Hi, shout out. Jenny Kita, who had a lot of success too. She was a Harajuku girl, danced for Madonna, like danced for so many people. And I recently asked her, I was like, what did you do? Because I know what I did. Like looking back, I can clearly see what I did. But I just want to know, what did you do? And part of the thing that she told me was that she would go audition and she would just let it go. Mm-hmm. So it's in the act of surrendering the need or the desire or the want. That's really the magic. But we're taught to like, well, you got to fight for your dream. You got to struggle. You got to, and you got to hold on to it. Don't let it go. But when you're holding on to it, your fist is closed and you can't receive. Mm-hmm. So you literally have to let go and open your hand for God to like bring it in.
But see, like when I hear stuff like that, that's when I'm like, you're too conscious of it, right? Because I'll be like, oh, I want that, but that's not a big deal. Is it coming yet?
Wink, wink,
I said it's not a big deal.
No.
I want this. It's not a big deal.
I hear that. Because Abraham Hicks, she talks about that. She goes, it's not the words you use, it's the feeling. And it goes back to a feeling, emotion, energy, right? Yeah. And the energy really you literally have to walk faithfully with your talents. And there cannot be a single guarantee. Literally, anybody that has a dream and then wants to go pursue and become famous or successful or just make money at what you love to do, you literally have to just show up and not expect a guarantee and just freaking love what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of money, I know you wanted to transition into that. So like, what's that all about? Like your manifestation and your energy towards money? Like, because I know nothing about it.
So I recently taught class and there's this idea, especially being here in California and LA and where one, we're taught to be struggling artists.
Yes.
So like there's no money, but there is. There's a shit ton of money here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dancers, we have this really poor, like, survival mindset, and there's all this competition. And so it all goes down into, like, this lack mindset that we're kind of conditioned. Is like, that's why our parents tell us not to do the art or the dance or the, you know.
I don't want to cut you off, but
No,
I feel like I was having this conversation maybe with you, and I don't know if you remember, but it's like we're taught to love the story of the underdog, and I've always seen myself as the underdog because I work hard and I'm gonna come out on top. But it's like, but I don't have to be. Like, it's okay to just like get some success.
Yeah.
But but again, we have movies about it and all these things, and that's only something that occurred to me recently, guys. So I'm like, gotta work on that one.
Yeah, we're literally taught to, like, fight for your dream. Right? Because it's a struggle and it's not given. And it isn't given in the sense of, like, here's you say it and then here it is on a silver platter. You still have to show up. But when you show up, it's more with love than with fear and disappointment and frustration and questioning, is it going to happen? Like, that's a whole different energy than, I just love what I'm doing and I'm going to do it at 1,000%. And then whatever comes. And that means the money, that means the success, whatever that version is for you. That means the highlight reel, you know, all the things.
I co-manage some young actors, and I always tell, and young people in general, anybody who's starting out in the industry, I always tell them it's really important to love other things. I think, and have other interests and things that make you happy and that you're passionate about. Because when you get so, like, laser focused on this thing, on the, you know, the casting directors are like, I'm gonna watch all the movies, and, like, I'm gonna know all the people who went into the room for an audition for the same audition and who got it. It's like, you're worried. Yeah, it doesn't. And you're worried about the wrong thing.
Yes.
You're really, like, as long as you focus on doing you, obviously doing the work and whatever the work is.
Do the work.
Yeah, do the work. But obviously, you know, being prepared and all the things and putting your best foot forward. But then live your life. And I know easier said than done. So I'm not saying, like, oh, it's so easy, just live your life or have hobbies. Like, I understand that. But I think once you can do that freely, you open yourself up to just, when you're in the room or when you're doing these auditions or having the interview or whatever, you're just so interesting. And people are interested in interesting people. Like, it exudes out of you, right? Like, you're not trying to be this character or whatever. Sorry that for anybody who's not in the entertainment industry, that's like, whatever. But even for a normal interview, it's like, when you're interesting, people are interested. And you have to be interested in other people too, and, like, ask the questions and, like, get involved and that, I feel, just opens up your world to so many other things than just that one little thing you think it's what is meant for you.
Yeah, and you know, in the industry, it's like, part of it is who you know, but you also have to, like, you have to do the work on the skill, right? So there are plenty of people who maybe didn't quite put in the work for the skill and still wishing, right, that something will happen. And even sometimes it's weird. Like, I know Janet recently, she went on a tour of announcing that she was going to go on a tour. and she would go to classes and would pick people to go dance with her. You know, and they could have, like, never have danced a day in their life, but something about them, I don't know if it happened.
Where was I?
I don't know if it happened. All I'm saying is I did see versions of, like, it's, things can happen when you're not attached, right? So it's the attachment, and this is getting back to my friend, is like, she just totally, whether she felt like she deserved it, what she shared with me, was she wasn't quite sure how she got in the room, but to get in the room, she wasn't holding on to needing the job.
Mhm.
And this is where we as creatives and artists, we get tripped up on the outcome or the result, needing it. And that creates an energy of desperation. And when you start to get desperate and frustrated, it's just kind of, that's the stuff that gets in the way. That's like holding an umbrella of your, like against your blessings. And it's like you're holding on to your frustration, thinking, okay, I got to hold on to the dream. I got to hold on to the dream. But this umbrella of holding on to the dream is blocking all the blessings. And if you just let go of the frustration and the need, it's really, right? It's like when you really want something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Yeah. That's what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
It's not the talent.
But you can have that knowledge, right? I've had that knowledge for many years, but actually putting into the practice when it is something that your heart desires so badly, like how do you shut that off?
Yeah.
And you like funnel that into the work.
Okay. So this is how you shut it off. You have to be okay with not getting it. You really have to be okay with not ever getting the thing. But if you cannot be okay with that, that's the trip. That's where we get stuck. Like anything that's running in the background that you're not okay with is taking up mind space. And, you know, it's because we're not okay. Right? So the dream, the goal, the vision, you're like, I need this to happen. I need this to happen. I need this to happen. And we're like this, shaking and like close fisted and like, ooh, like stirred. Like there's all this, you know, if you can't see it, I'm like acting crazy.
They can feel the mic.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so much easier to just show up, do the work of like practice your skill. Love your skill, love the practice, love the opportunities, love the disappointments, love it all, and not need an outcome. Whoa, that's freedom. That is pure magic and freedom.
So much freedom. And it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But, and you can apply that to so many different aspects of your life, because I was just thinking of, in my last relationship, I was just obsessed with having a kid. Like I never tried, by the way, but like in my head, I'm like, I just want a baby. Like I want to be able to have a family. I'm getting older. What am I going to do? What if this doesn't work? Am I going to leave this relationship now? I got to start it all over. If I wasn't going to have a baby then, I'm definitely not going to have a baby now, because by the time I meet somebody new, it's going to be too late. You know, all the fucking things. And I remember when I decided to leave that relationship, because I knew it wasn't going where I wanted it to go. I let go of having a baby. And then I got excited about the narrative of what my life would look like with that one. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love traveling. Like I love working out whenever the fuck I want. Like like my house is peaceful and quiet, or sometimes I'm like having like loud music and doing my thing. Like I like this. And like now, funny enough, when I'm around my friends, sorry y'all, but I've been honest with my friends with kids. Yeah. But when I'm around my friends with kids, like I'm like, God, I love my life, you know, and I love coming home and it's quiet and da da da. Now, mind you, I did not let go of that dream of, and I want to be specific with this. Bearing my own healthy child and it being born healthy. So that's still there, but I let go of the idea of like my life wouldn't have been good without it. And now I'm in this new relationship. He actually has a daughter, so that's kind of really fun and exciting, because I'm almost so like, oh, I get the best of both worlds.
Right.
He only has her 50-50, and so it's like, cool, I get to like have my fun, no kid world, and then I still get like fun kid, although she's not really my kid, but you know, still the idea of that. But now I feel like I'm gonna get pregnant. Like I just know I am.
Uh-oh. Y'all heard it here first.
No, I know. I'm not like I'm on birth control. Yeah. I'm not actively trying to get pregnant, but I just feel like now I'm like, no.
And that's the thing.
I'm gonna get pregnant.
Yes, with the manifesting, you start to feel a knowing.
Yeah.
So when you let go, you can actually tap into knowing.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to have the plan A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you just show up and let that be enough for the day. You just show up and let that be enough. And because when you're fighting and trying and I gotta do it all, I gotta A, B, C, D, I gotta do it all in this order and it's not going the way I want. And then this other thing came into, it's like, holy shit. Like, that's how life feels like for a lot of people. And it can be really easy if you just like breathe.
You know what I want to say too, and I've heard you say this too. And sometimes you're afraid to say certain things because it could be jinxed or whatever. And I get really frustrated when people say that, because if anybody else, I've heard you say that, and I've heard you say that, like about. And other people in your life too, like they won't say certain things because they feel like, oh, I don't want to jinx it or whatever.
Yeah.
That
is a thing. People do say that.
No, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, that's so interesting to me, because they use it in the negative term, but not in the positive, right? So in the sense of just like, I can say that I'm going to have this thing, but it's like, but now it might not happen because I jinxed it. But why can't it be flipped? Why can't I say this thing and it's like, no, but now it will happen, like, because I jinxed it in the different direction.
Yeah.
Like, why can somebody have the power, or like, you know, saying something out loud to take it from you, but why can't it have as much power, if not more, to confirm that that it will?
Yes,
right?
I agree. That's a great point. Also, that you do have to be careful who you share your dreams with.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's in your corner.
True.
Right? And so it is a little bit of that, but also I love that when you do feel safe enough to share it with people. And the jinxing idea is great. Like, I just made it happen because I claimed it.
Yeah.
So instead of jinx, it's like I claim it.
Yeah, it's not a negative. It's just oh, it's out there.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to jinx all the things.
I don't know. I mean, how are we on time? I feel like our time guy has walked by a few times, so we probably should wrap it up.
Oh my God, we didn't even get to talk about AI.
Oh,
I love that.
That's a good one. Yeah. Frank is like,
right?
Yeah.
It's time, guys.
No, that's going to be really good. Really interesting, especially now, like future episode, just because there's so much into the AI.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Super fascinating. And there's so much debate with our industry.
Yeah. Well, because of creativity.
Right.
The thing, oh God, I still want to get into it.
We will. We'll have to come back.
Pause!
Yeah, pause. No, that's good. That was a teaser.
Yes.
Now you have to subscribe, like, and comment. I'm just kidding.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And just sharing all these tips. I hope that, again, it's your unpaid therapist. And what I like about these kind of conversations is like, yes, your unpaid therapist can be your close friends and your family or whatever, but also like having these kind of conversations with new people and people that, maybe different beliefs or whatever. I think it's so important because it brings awareness and like little things that like make you like, these little aha moments. And I think for healing and growth and all that stuff, it's so useful.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. And you guys, thanks for tuning in and watching. I'm sure you guys got so much from this anyway.
I know.
Move on Purpose.
Yes.
Find her.
MoveOnPurpose.com.
Teresa Espinosa 22.
On Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I got it all covered? Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well,
till next time.
To the
AI episode.
Bye.
Bye.